Well, good day, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you're in. That's why I like to say good day. My name is Keith Allen from Material Indicators, and today, as the opening slide implies, we are going to walk through our tools and show you how you can replace speculative decisions with data-driven decisions by using data visualization tools. Nothing that I share here is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. Trading is very, very risky. And the only advice I will give you is I advise you to do your research, mitigate your risk, and consult a licensed financial advisor for those difficult decisions. We have a series of tools we're going to share with you, and a community watching on Telegram, on Periscope, and Twitter, and YouTube. And I would like to invite you to join us in any of those places along the way, so that you can continue to follow what we do. And if you like the content, please give us a comment, like, and subscribe, so that we can continue to engage with you. We have a phenomenal community. Literally a global community of traders joining us on Telegram, and we engage there daily. Would love to have you join us there, as well as checking things out on our website at materialindicators.com. And if you head over to materialindicators.com, you will see at the very top of the page, you'll see a link to join our Telegram community, and invite you to do so there. Today, I want to talk to you about our suite of trading tools, which includes our indicators and tools, our recently released fire charts, which are all the rage. A lot of you have seen on social media and been commenting about. Our trend precognition indicators, which are used on TradingView, as well as our Mtf mean reversion screener, also currently used on TradingView. We have just, at the beginning of the month, launched our first release of this suite of tools and these products. They have been through very, very, very stringent testing and validation. And as I mentioned, our community has been with us all along the way, has been using these tools with us and engaging with us and giving us feedback all through the development of these tools. So it was their pushing that requested that we bring them to market. And so I'm going to just take a real quick peek and see who in our community may have any requests. We're going to pull some charts today, and also go through the tools and show you how we use them. So without further ado, let's dive right into it and start by sharing with you our fire charts. And this is a thermal heat map of the order book. Currently, we support all BTC pairs and all USDT pairs on Binance. And as I mentioned, this is the first iteration, first release of the app. So we're actually in process of expanding our infrastructure so that we can add additional exchanges. And that work is ongoing literally as we speak. So as you can see, this is a fire chart. Thermal map on top, CVD, which stands for Cumulative Volume Delta, for those who don't know, and we'll get into what all of this means here in just a moment. But first, just want to give you like the first view. When you log in, you will see a window here where you can enter your ticker symbol. And as I mentioned, all BTC pairs, all USDT pairs are available at the moment. And again, as we expand our infrastructure and add more exchanges, we'll also add more pairs that go with that. So, BTC obviously in a volatile couple of days. Yes, we do also support the leverage coins, as you can see here. So BTC in a volatile few days. So that's always a good chart to look at. We have the ability to look in a 1-day time frame, 1 week, 12-week, 26-week, 1 year, and 3 year windows for that longer trend. But for our purposes today, we're going to look at the 1-day chart, 24-hour chart. This updates in 5-minute intervals. And again, as we get into the upgrades with the infrastructure, this will move into essentially a live chart with 1 second updates as opposed to 5-minute updates. So that is all coming in the future. How do you read the fire chart? Well, very simply, the name comes from the color range, the range of fire, if you will. And what's the hottest part of the fire? White hot is the hottest part of the fire. So the brighter the color, the more volume or liquidity you see in the chart. And at the moment, the brightest spot on the chart was down here in the $8-9 million range. And so you can see up here, white would be about $10 million. Now, this will scale depending on what's in the order book at any given time, right? And it'll be different for every asset that you show, because not all assets are trading at this kind of volume. And so we can adjust the chart, and we can manipulate the chart. We can adjust it. We can, this is, some tools here. You can take it from side to side and up and down and move it however you want. And you can also scale the chart if you'd like, so that you can see a different range, right? So if I want to see a broader range, I can tighten up here and see up higher and down lower. So obviously long-standing support at 14,000, that's what everybody is looking to break. And if that happens, well, that's for another stream. Today, we're just going to talk about how to read the charts, how to use these data visualization tools to literally replace speculative decisions with data-driven decisions. Without being able to visualize the book, you can see, obviously, by using technical analysis and other techniques, you may be able to draw some geometry on your chart and figure out where you believe resistance and support are going to be, and you can retest those theories. And quite often, that's a very, very good way to do it. But not everybody knows how to do technical analysis, and technical analysis takes time. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody that does TA replaces it. In fact, if you are a technical analyst, you're going to find this as a tool that can really help you validate your ideas and theories. So used with technical analysis, it's really, really powerful. Without technical analysis, it answers a lot of the questions that you try to determine with TA. And those burning questions are: where is resistance? Where is support? How much liquidity is there in between that could slow things down or speed things up going in either direction? So looking at the chart, we can identify that. And I'm going to expand back out so it's easier for us to see what we're working with here. Also notice we have a price tag tool here, right? The hover tool. And by doing so, we can see exactly what sits at that level. So this orange bar right here represents $5.5 million worth of volume. That is new support. It just appeared. Look, it was in, it was pulled, and then it reappeared. And that is, essentially what is propping up the price at the moment. So let's just kind of take a look back in history here for the past 24 hours. And I'm going to take off this tool so it's a little easier to see the chart. We saw support at this 13,000 level, and we saw price bounce off of that support at the 13,000 level. It then bounced off of resistance as it found some more support underneath, and you can see on the bottom, right at the lower range at 12.8 and 12.9, we started seeing more support come in that helped push things up. And then more support arriving here at this range. Now I want to put the tool back on so I can see exactly where that is. More support arriving here at this range, and it bumps price up. We break the resistance, and then we start seeing some selling. So now let me address the CVD here at the bottom so you can see how these two tools work together in beautiful harmony. Just a quick check here. Okay. So the CVD, cumulative volume delta, and there are plenty of CVD tools on the market. Ours functions a little bit differently, and I'm going to show you how and why that's important. The cumulative volume is basically the net of all of the buy volume and all of the sell volume. And the blue line is the sum of all of those orders. The other classes, and I'm going to click them out and bring them back in one at a time so you can see how they affect the chart. Okay, this is the CVD, total volume of all orders. We've been this into classes. These $100 to $1,000 orders, the yellow, $1,000 to $10,000 orders, $10,000 to $100,000 orders, $100,000 to $1 million whales, and the $1 million to $10 million mega whales. And now you can see how these classes of orders are affecting the overall price, right? Common consensus when whales and mega whales are buying and selling, that tends to move the order book. And historically, we've seen that happening here as well. Of course, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results, but you can see how their action drives the book. And you can also see how other classes may counter that action. And then you see a divergence in the overall cumulative sum. So, the brown line is the mega whales. These are $1 million plus orders, $1 million to $10 million orders. And you can see when they come in, what happens to the price. Breaks resistance here. And then they go flat, they buy again, and they break resistance. They knock out this sell wall at this point. And we see other classes following. Okay. We see the purple class of whales also buying their way up. But we see yellow, which we consider a retail size order, selling in mass volume, right? Obviously, it takes a lot of small orders to exceed the large whale orders, but that's exactly what happened. And that's why the price came down here. And you can see the other classes as well, right? The sharks, I like to call the red one sharks. They bought up as well into the liquidity, into the resistance. And then when it passed it, they did a little profit taking and bought the dip, and a little profit taking and bought the dip, and so on and so forth. So you can now see how those moves really drive the book. These purple whales, these are the ones that we see more frequently on an asset like Bitcoin, and they frequently drive the book, as you see them doing at this stage, right? These are $100,000 $1 million orders, and you can see exactly how they came in. They bounced off of the support and started buying. And that's why we're sitting where we sit right now. Yesterday we were, I personally was underwater, and today I'm in profit. And why didn't I sell? Why didn't I sell when it came down here below my buy price? Well, I didn't sell because I saw the support down here. I saw support down here. And through my own technical analysis, I, had a speculative thought that things were bullish. But I'm a day trader and a swing trader. So the long term isn't what is in my focus right now. The short term is. And this was a short term play for me. Now, I'm going to show you how we use some of the other tools here in a moment that can work with you, that you can work with fire charts, or work with independently, or integrate with any of your strategies as well. So whether you are trading long or you're trading short, whatever your strategy is, fire charts are really a tool that can help you really validate the opportunities, mitigate the risk, because you know where the resistance and support are lying. You can see the support, you can see the resistance overhead, you know exactly what you are up against. Now, how do you know how much is being spent? How do you know if liquidity was taken or pulled? That's a question we get a lot in our community, and I'm going to show you exactly how we figure that out. The data in the CVD is normalized, and it's normalized because it makes it easier to see the moves. But if you switch the normalization button, and you'll see this change from normalized to just CVD, and this is the actual value of these moves. Back to the hover tool we go, and we can see that this move right here, 1.6, now we go up to $3 million, that was $1.5 million, $1.5 million order right there. Now you can also see on the left-hand side, you can scale and see relative to price volume here as we get over the zero line. Okay, but if you want to see, how much each move is, you're basically just going to do the math, right? We're sitting at 2.9 million. We'll call it 3 million. We go up to 7 million. That's a $4 million order. Okay, so that is how we determine when liquidity is taken and when liquidity is pulled. Okay, here where price action doesn't come anywhere near it, that was pulled and then it was reset. Now let's go back. Bear with me 1 second while I switch screens. So again, if you have any questions about the tools, I encourage you to type a comment in the chat window. You can type a comment in the Periscope window or in the YouTube chat, and I'll see your comments or questions here. And for those of you in the community, I will check the Telegram every once in a while and see if we've got any questions from you guys as well, or any charts that you'd like to see. Maybe we'll flip through a couple more fire charts here before it's over. Now I want to look at some of our other tools here. Okay, and as I mentioned, these tools can all be used as standalone tools, and they can also be used together. So let's see if we can see what that looks like. Okay, it's not sharing. Okay. Bear with me one moment. We'll go back to the website and I can show you what we're looking at next. Let's next go ahead and look at our trend precognition. And trend precognition was the first tool that we came up with at Material Indicators. And this tool comes with a default setting that is really optimized for long terms, but you can optimize this thing for any time frame that you want. So trend precognition, as it says, is like having a trusted market guru pointing out micro trend reversals and helping you validate some ideas. You can see when the market is moving, in what direction, and this would be, on an intraday, we're talking micro trends, right? But you can, of course, set it for longer terms. As I said, it comes the default setting for daily, weekly, monthly to get an idea of the macro. And, you can configure this however it works for you, whether you trade long, whether you trade short. This is a pretty powerful tool with whatever strategy that you're using, and you can customize it to suit you as it does best. So let's switch to a chart and see what we might see here. Hang on 1 second, and we'll go back to our stream, and we will. Oh, now the background shows up. There you go. All right. So we're going to look at a chart on TradingView, and trend precognition is available on TradingView in the invite-only scripts. So obviously you have to be a subscriber. We've had lots of people using it for about 2 years for free, and as I mentioned, we just launched the company and took these products to market. So we now offer a range of pricing plans on all of these tools. So let's go ahead and share a chart, and let's go with ETH and see what an ETH chart looks like. Now I'm going to click some things out and clean this up a little bit. Okay. So let's just go with the arrow chart for now. And here's another version of trend precognition down below. I'll get to that in a second. But as you can see, the arrow chart, And I have this optimized now for the 1 hour trend. And I personally like using it with the VWAP as a validator for, again, the intraday. And I'll show you how to take this to a longer view here in a moment. Very simple. To optimize the chart, you go into the settings here, and oops, I didn't get the right one. Okay, you go into settings. This is the A2 plus algorithm, and you merely adjust the probability score. And the lower the score, the more arrows you're going to see. And I'm just going to show you. Watch how many more arrows pop up. Give it a moment. Okay. I wanted to optimize this to see fewer signals and stronger signals. And so by adjusting that score, and I'm going to take it back now, by adjusting that score, this is where for the assets that I trade and the time frames I trade, this is a pretty good compromise for volume of signals or frequency of signals versus accuracy of signals. Worth noting here on TradingView, there is a 1 candle lag, okay, which is something that we're also integrating as we are working our way off of TradingView. That will go away in a future release. But as you can see, it's showing on the intraday that we're long. We've cleared the VWAP, which I like. And ETH is finally broken out. It's been mired down here in the 380 level for a little longer than any of us wanted to see. At least those of us who are long with long positions wanted to see. And now it's on recovery. So this is like I use this and I consider this as a way to validate and support ideas and theories of, whether you want to re-enter a position or not. It's not always 100%. I mean, look at this signal here. Yes, price did go up. So the signal was valid, but price then dropped, which is why I like to integrate the VWAP into this as well. And you can see the difference, right? Price went up, but not huge. But it dropped pretty significantly after the after a rejection here. But now look at this. As you incorporate the VWAP, you can see now that it broke, we have a much better upside. And so, again, I'm a little tight. I didn't see a short signal here, but I saw the VWAP break loose, and that would have been an indication that the price was going to drop. And again, here we are again. We broke out, a retest down, and a recovery. So we'll see what happens here in the future. So let's go back to the other screen here. So you can see these are also trend precognition indicators. There are 3 in total, and you can use whichever you like, whether you want the on-chart arrows or you like to see it represented as dots, or you want to do different configurations for different time frames. You can do that here. And then the bottom one here, I also have this set with the A2 plus algorithm, and it's showing me the strength of these signals. Now, let's see what it looks like on a longer term setting. Okay, I'll turn this one off and go to my long-term setup on trend. This is the default setting. You would use this on a daily chart or longer. And on the daily, as you can see, it's showing, let me clear this out. On the daily, you can see it's showing a downtrend here. Now, this candle here could potentially print a long signal, but it won't happen because of the candle lag, and that's a limitation on TradingView. It won't happen until this candle closes, which, on a daily candle, that's a 1 day. So if the candle closes at 7 hours and 35 minutes, we will know whether we have a long signal here or not. And again, this works on longer time frames as well. So we'll have to wait and see how this all shapes up. We'll have a weekly close. Obviously, same thing. We won't know if there is a weekly long being printed here until the candle closes, and we've got 3 days and 8 hours for that to happen. So that's a quick look at how trend precognition works and can be integrated into your strategies. And now I want to go to one more tool to share with you, and that is our trend precognition tool. And if you like the content that I'm sharing, interested in more, I hope you will please comment, like, and subscribe, and join us at materialindicators.com for more detail on what we've got to offer you guys. And if you're not joining us already, please join our global community of traders on Telegram. And of course, you can find us on Twitter as well at MI_algos. So a quick check here. Hey, Brad, good to see you. Let's go back and share what MTF is all about. All right. Let's go check out the MTF indicator. MTF, our mean reversion indicator, which is a mean reversion, meaning this is identifying potential bottom calls. Catch the bounce with a high frequency mean reversion trading indicator. It is our MTF mean reversion tool. It is my daily driver with over 27,000 alerts in the past year alone. This is definitely a high frequency tool that alerts you when an asset is entering a potential buy zone with a high probability, a mathematically and historically high probability of bouncing. Of course, past performance is not indicative of future results. Historically, I can tell you that over the past 18 months, over 92% of these signals have reached 1.25% or higher profitability in a relatively short amount of time. Well, what's a relatively short amount of time? That's a good question. For our purposes, we have limited our data collection to a 5-day range because we want to be able to turn capital. So these results are within a 5-day range, and quite honestly, the average is in about a 2-day range. But sometimes they happen in, like, if it's a dead cat bounce, it can happen in less than a minute. That's obviously not the norm, but it does happen quite frequently. 92.62% have hit that level over a year or more. Now, you can use this tool as a screening tool. You can use it to automate your bots, and you can use it as a powerful trading system when you integrate it with fire charts. And I'll show you how we do that in just a moment as well. So let's go back and find a chart with some signals. Now, our MTF signals, again, are available on TradingView through subscription. And we also have them coming through Telegram alerts at the moment. So let's see where we head. Let's stop that screen share and real quickly take a peek at what's happening back on Bitcoin, because I see some movement here, and I know everybody's interested in seeing some Bitcoin movement. So let's share the chart and see if we've got an update. All right, so it looks like we have broken 13.5 and are headed back, headed up to 13.6 at this point. I'm going to take off the normalization so we can see who is actually doing this buying. And as you can see, the purple class of whales are buying their way up, as are sharks, maybe guppies or grouper, whatever you want to call them. Let's go with grouper. And then these would be the guppies and minnows. And look how retail is just like constantly going against the grain. Now, worth noting that whales and sharks could certainly disguise themselves as retail traders so as not to alert the book by making simply smaller sized orders. But retail can never disguise themselves as whales. Now look at this new resistance showing up here at 13.6 just now appeared, and that's $3.3 million. Let's see if we have enough to take that out. We'll be checking back on this one shortly. Let's see. So I think that was just the 12:30 update. All right, so let's see what happens. Now look at this. We have some sentiment here buying their way up. So this could get taken out. And if not, it'd be a healthy pullback, and this would be an idea of where that pullback might come to. However, since this is not long-standing support, there's always the risk that that's a spoof. So those are things that you need to be in tune to. All right, now we're going to head over and look at some MTF signals, and let me see what might be hot. I'll look in our Telegram chart and see. Okay, let's go to recent signals here. BLZ, CHR. Okay, actually we'd have a BLZ signal right now. So this literally at 12:31, right this minute, it just came in. So let's see what this signal looks like and show you how in a live situation you can use this tool, right? So I'm going to go to my trading view, and let's share that screen. Okay, so here we are on Trading View. Worth noting that this is a tool that comes on a 1-minute chart, right? This is a very quick thing, and a very granular thing as well. So I'm going to, for this purpose, to declutter the chart a little bit. I'm going to turn off trend here, and I am going to enlarge. And what do we say? BLZ. We are currently supporting all pairs on all BTC and USDT pairs on Binance, but you can actually you can use MTF. We're supporting that on Fire Charts. You can use MTF on any asset, any exchange, equities, Forex. You can use this literally across all asset classes. So you'll need to optimize the deviation depending on the asset class, but that's for another tutorial. So this looks like a pretty low volume coin here. Let's expand so we can get a better idea of what's happening. Looks like a couple of signals came in, a tier 1, and then a secondary signal came in a few minutes later. And let's see where this sets up now in terms of support and liquidity to see what might actually happen with this trade. So we will now go back to our Fire Charts. And let's just share the entire screen, and then maybe this can slow down some of the stuff that we have to do here. All right, so let's go to our Fire Charts. Okay, hopefully you're seeing the right thing. And I'm going to look up BLZ, USDT. All right, coming right into support literally, but look, there's still some downward selling here. And how much is there? How much support is there to hold this up? $11,000. Not lighting the world on fire, but this is a small cap. Here's white. $40,000 is the largest order on the book. So So let's look a little bit further and see if we can see more significant support underneath. Okay, so you can see a range of laddered support all the way down to the 3 cent, 3.5 cent range. Okay, so what is the indication that this might hold or might break? Well, if you have any history with this coin, and maybe you're doing some technical analysis, you might have some ideas of where you think support might sit. What I see, what's interesting here is notice that you had about $8,700, $8,700 worth of support right here, and it disappeared. Well, it didn't actually get pulled. Look, it moved right here, or at least a significant portion of it did. This was 86. It went to 47. So, safe to assume, looking at the time, that some of the support has moved up, right? Whether it came from here or both, and here, right? So look, laddered to here and here. This is where it went. Look, two levels of support. Some remained here, and some laddered up and up. So, there's a little bit of a backstop here. Will it be enough to hold? That remains to be seen. I personally, now if you were taking this as an automated trade, and this is the difference between just letting MTF run and playing the averages, and the averages are very, very good. If you have this as an automated trade, you've taken the signal, and now you're waiting for a bounce. If you're taking it as a manual trade, you have to determine whether you feel that this is enough support to hold, or if you want to see buying return before you want to take that trade. Personally, there's greater validation for me when I see buying has resumed. So, I would personally be watching this one a little bit before I just jumped in and took it if I was cherry picking trades. Let's see if we can tell by looking at the chart. Again, this is one of those low volume coins, so it doesn't move very fast. It's going to take a little bit to get things going. There was another signal. Let's see if we can check out another one that sets up maybe a little bit stronger. CHR and ARPA. Let's try. Oh, here you go. At 12:25, so that was 12 minutes ago. EFI, Wi-Fi, whatever you like to call it. Let's check that one out. All right. Signal came in. You see there's a little bounce and then a pullback, still in the buy zone. When you see this bright green color here, that means you're still in the buy zone. And that's also what this green represents as well. So, let's just look straight at the app and see what it looks like on the chart. Okay, so there has been some buying here. This is a low volume. Well, actually, the reason that it looks so dark here is there's not a great range of orders to offer more contrast. But by using the hover tool, we can see exactly what's there. This is about $250,000. Now you can also enlarge, which is neat. If you use this zoom tool right here, you can zoom right in and get a closer look. There's $250,000 sitting right here. There was a little bit of buying that came in after this bounce. So signal came in right here. Here's the bounce. This has to mature and develop a little bit further. And it looks like it's starting to do that. So if this is a coin you're interested in, that may be one that you would consider taking. Meanwhile, let's take a look and see what's happening on Bitcoin as it continues to drive. Where's Bitcoin going to top out? Looks like it just knocked out 13,600. And look who's doing it. Whales, sharks, everybody but retail. Retail's selling, everybody else is buying. Where are we going to top out? New resistance coming in overhead at, this looks like 13,870 in this range. So going to be interesting to see if there's enough momentum to drive through. But I hope that you've got an idea of how you can use these tools either individually or together to help identify opportunities. And that's really what I like MTF for. It's a great tool. You literally have hundreds, if not thousands, of signals coming in weekly. And in volatile times, we see a lot more. But there are days where you could have hundreds of signals a day. But you most certainly have hundreds of signals weekly. And if you consider each of those signals a potential buying opportunity as they come and you screen them using fire charts, you can then determine really what's coming into the setup and setting up the way that you're comfortable with your risk mitigation and with your strategies, and what doesn't. You don't have to take every trade. You can if you've got that much capital, but most of us don't. So you don't have to take every trade. And by using these tools together, you can literally mitigate a lot of risk by knowing exactly what you're up against. Let's look at Wi-Fi one more time and see what's happening there. It's not made any great strides in a couple of minutes, but let's see if we can get an idea of what the sentiment is by looking at the chart. So a little bit of buying, a little bit of selling, right? Nothing convincing here at the moment, but price is held. If it doesn't, there's not a lot below holding it up. So that's that's a risk that you may or may not be willing to take. Well, I hope that you've got a decent overview of what the tools are. We've got a lot of brand new members in our community that we're so thrilled to have, and invite you to come join us there as well. If you have not done so, please join us at materialindicators.com and join us in our community. There's so much available for you. And, this community is not a shill community. It's not a meme community. This is a group of traders who likes to share ideas, talk about what's happening on a daily basis. And, traders really looking out for each other. And so our team is in there engaging daily. We're spread out between the U.S. And Europe, so we cover pretty much all time zones. Maybe some short gaps where one of our team members isn't there, but we're very, very responsive. We engage with the community on a daily and nightly basis, and hope that you will come join us there as well. Join us on Telegram and join us on Twitter at MI_algos. And of course, you can always find us at materialindicators.com. My name's Keith Allen. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to engaging with you in our Telegram community of traders.